Wintry scene in downtown St. Paul as the defending Walter Cup champs return home. After an almost 2-week international break, the PWHL is back in full swing. And tonight, the Ottawa Charge take on the Minnesota Frost.
Take a look here at Maddie Rooney getting the start in between the pipes. She's been rock solid. Coach Ken Klee always lets his goaltenders pick which games they want to play based on how they've performed. And Rooney got the nod tonight because she wanted to play at home. Coach Ken Klee said you can play tonight or you can play the next game. And Rooney said I want to play at home. And then Phillips on the other side of the ice, as we talked about in the open, getting her first start here in the PWHL, played her college hockey at Northeastern University. She's an Ohio native. Coach McLeod talked about how steady she is, looking for more out of her tonight.
Woody Creek player to watch, presented by Woody Creek Distillers, proud founding partner of the PWHL. And we're underway here in St. Paul. Minnesota coming off back-to-back road wins at Boston and Toronto. And Ottawa, second game after the international break, coming off a 3-2 loss at Boston on Tuesday night. All four of their games this year been decided by one goal. And Carla McLeod said, don't be shocked if we're in a one-goal game again tonight. That's just kind of been the trend here to start the year, and we're going to get our first whistle.
Well, last season, that was the trend between these two teams. 4 of their 5 matchups were just one-goal games. One ended in a shootout. And the only anomaly in that sequence was the 4-0 win Ottawa had over Minnesota late in the season on April 20th. It was only one of 2 times Minnesota was shut out all year. So not only is Ottawa used to playing in tight games, but especially against this Minnesota team, that has not been unusual here so far in the head-to-head matchups.
Off that draw, pushed into the Minnesota end. Lee Steckline got a stick on it as the Frost try to work it out to center, and they do. It's picked off there by Danielle Serdachny, who swings back into her own zone. Minnesota takes it back. Panic swings it over, and it's driven in by the Frost. Minute into this hockey game. Minnesota dominated this series last year, as Alexis talked about, and we'll see what happens here tonight. There's a shot right on, and Maddie Rooney, very steady, makes her first save tonight as we look at the benches. Ken Klee, happy about getting those 6 points on the road and enjoyed that nice 12-day break, but ready to get back to work here tonight. We talked a little bit about McLeod, head coach of the Czech national team. She was overseas during that Six Nations trip, and of course, with the Czechs, looking forward to hosting the World Championships in 2025. It'll be the first time that Czechia has been able to do that. She has done a great job with that national team.
She refused to take any credit, though, when you told her that, Clay.
And there are a lot of her players from that national team on the ice here tonight. 5 in all, 3 for Ottawa, 2 for Minnesota. As Jake swings it in behind. Here's Sophie trying to get it out of the zone. Clangs it off the wall. Zumwinkle taking off her skates. That was a good hard hit there by Stephanie Murkowski. The Edmonton native throwing her body around. And this is going to be an icing call. Out at center here. Minnesota settles it down. They'll drive it in on an angle. In behind the net, Ashton Bell, former UMD Bulldog. Second round pick last year for the Ottawa Charge. Out at center, Rebecca Leslie tries to advance it. She's an Ottawa native. Former star at Boston University. The Charge gain the zone, and it drifts into the far corner. Minnesota pounces on it. This is Thompson trying to get it out of the zone. Tipped out at center there by Budarev. Shepard's coming in. Lost the puck. Harmon tried to move it back out for Ottawa. Ottawa, like everybody in this league, had some roster turnover during the offseason. 6 new players out there. A team that, you know, like I said, Minnesota handled pretty easily Alexis last year when you look at the head-to-head record. And came down to these two. Who was going to be the last team into the playoff picture last year?
Yeah, and thanks to Ottawa, Minnesota got that playoff berth. So if not for Ottawa and their performance in the last game of the season, Minnesota would have never even had a crack at the Walter Cup, let alone the playoffs in general.
Scamora set one right in front of Maddie Rooney. Didn't really get a good shot on. I'm sure she'd tell you that. A little trouble settling that puck down out in front. And now some open ice here for Minnesota coming in. 2-on-1 shot. Save made there by Phillips. Boy, that was a good look for Petrie again. She's trying to get her 4th goal in 4 games.
Color me shocked. Petrie's looking for another one. Always seems to find that puck out front, whether it's easy to get there or not. She finds a way to do it and gets a good look there in on Phillips early. And if you're Minnesota, you want to get some shots in early. Phillips is playing her first game here in the league and first game of the season, and you want to try to throw a lot at her early and just get her rattled if you can, because it might not be an easy transition for her in her first game.
Here's Bell. Comes through the middle. Off to the far wing for Brianne Jenner, the captain, 32 years old. Such a leader for the Ottawa Charge. Off in the corner, a battle for the puck. Bounces off the back of Rooney's cage. Ottawa trying to center. Panic intercepts. Now Sir Dackney hit hard up against the wall, lost the puck. Panic again has it on her backhand. Kava tried to move it out the zone, and then supporting the puck is Panic. Here come the Frost now. Coyne Schofield with Saroon. Shot, stick, saved by Phillips. Got the stick and the blocker on that to ramp it up out of play.
And I like that she took the shot. Too often you'll see on an odd rush like that where you'll try to make the pretty pass, you'll try to make one too many moves, and instead, Kendall Coyne Schofield, who's a veteran, knows sometimes the better option is just to shoot the puck. And Phillips gets her stick on it. If there's a rebound to be had, you can take that opportunity. This one goes out of play, but Kendall Coyne Schofield looking to get the Minnesota Frost on the board early here tonight. Jakes was there as well down low, waiting for a rebound or a second opportunity. But Minnesota held off the scoreboard for now.
Gwen Phillips has to have some butterflies here tonight. 24-year-old Ohio native. Talked about her great career in college, but this pro thing is an entirely different animal, and she's getting her first taste of it tonight against the defending Walter Cup champs. In the slot, knocked to the near corner. Meixna now trying to advance it. Marched toward the net. Was checked off the puck. Now Vanna Silva trying to center for the Ottawa Charge. She's trying to play it to the blue line. Picked off there. Zumwinkle will shovel it deep into the Ottawa end. Past the 5-minute mark of period number 1. No score. Zumwinkle feeds it to the point. Looking for some room is Batherson. Shepard's fanned on a shot attempt. Now Steckline a drive, hit a body in front. Lee Steckline kept it low to the ice, hit a skate. McMahon comes back, picked up at the blue line. A Minnesota native. There are 3 for Ottawa. McMahon is one of them. Also Gabby Hughes and Natalie Snodgrass out there tonight.
Yeah, big night for Gabby Hughes. Mental health awareness night here, honoring Sophie Squad and all the work Gabby Hughes and her family has done. And Gabby Hughes was very excited, according to the coaching staff, to play in tonight's game here in Minnesota on such a special night for her and her family.
Minnesota with a chance and a shot right on for Sophie Jakes. And another save for Gwen Phillips. Look out, here's Petrie again for Minnesota trying to create. Lost the puck behind the net. Hughes takes it there, slams it off the end wall. Turned over on the far corner. Panic. Lost that race to the loose puck. Tied up behind. Minnesota has it. Now tipped out of the zone by Ottawa. And it's going to drift all the way back down to the Minnesota end.
Great stick. Minnesota trying to set something up there. Looking to get that pass to the point. Broken up nicely by the Charge.
Minnesota has scored first in all 3 of their games. They have outshot all 3 opponents. Trying to get something going here early again. There's another save. Rebound, another pad save by Phillips. There's a drive. Tipped out in front, off the stick of Jakes.
Oh, that'll give you some confidence.
Thompson keeps it alive for Minnesota. She fights through a check, carries it into the corner. Now this is Kelly Panic swinging to the top of the slot. Shot, knocked down in front. Ottawa desperately trying to clear it, and they do. Back out to neutral ice. Schofield, backhand. That went wide of the cage. Boy, Minnesota with some good early pressure here. 12.5 to go in the opening period. Now the Charge trying to set something up. Here's Harmon. Trying to keep it away from Thompson. Swings it back in behind for Darkangelo. Darkangelo, good centering pass. Now here's Vanna Silva. Vanna Silva for Jinsey Rose. Wrist shot, they score. Ottawa jumps out in front. Jinsey Rose with a big shot from the top. Don't know if it was deflected in. I think Meixna might have got a piece of that, and it's 1-0 charge.
Yeah, this definitely changed direction out front. The question's going to be who did it go off of, and it looks like Meixna on the tip drill here just knocks this one down, which makes it tough for Maddie Rooney to read that one coming through with Meixna so close to the net like that off the tip. And the Ottawa Charge strike first here tonight.
Now, was this played with a high stick? That's the question. The central situation room in Toronto is getting a look at this. What do you think?
It looks good to me, and it looks like they're going to play on here, so it looked good to them as well, but definitely close enough to maybe think twice about. But Mike's not able to get her stick on that one and give the Charge a 1-0 lead here over Minnesota.
Anna Meixna with her first goal. And Ottawa leads it 1-0 here in St. Paul. First career goal for Anna Meixna, and the Charge lead it 1-0 as we go down to Audra.
Well, Clay, it's great to see the PWHL back in action after its first of 3 scheduled international breaks this season. And this one coming just 3 games into the campaign. Yes, you could worry about it becoming a momentum killer, but don't talk about that with head coach Ken Klee. He said it was not a week off. He's put his team through 6 separate practices, treating it as if they were getting ready for a game the next night. Carla McLeod echoed that sentiment, saying it's all what you make of it. And for her, it was an opportunity for her team to work on some things that she wasn't thrilled about in their first 3 games of the season. She said we're all in the same boat, and they're going to have to get used to this because they do have 2 more breaks coming up, February 3rd through the 10th, and then the long break for the World Championships in April, guys.
Yeah, those are going to be in Czechia, as we talked about. And there is the Czech national coach as well as the head coach of the Ottawa Charge, Carla McLeod.
Well, and I asked her, I said, do you feel you have an advantage over Minnesota since you've got a game under your belt after the break and they don't? And she laughed and said, there's no advantages in this league. Every night is tough. Every opponent is tough. And Coach Ken Klee kind of said the same thing on the flip side of, every matchup is a new game, a new opportunity, and doesn't matter what breaks there are, what days off you've had. Every night is tough here in this league.
Yeah, and his Minnesota team is playing from behind to start a game for the first time this year, as Clark sends a wrist shot over the top of the net. Minnesota gets it out of the zone, but it's taken away at center by Jinsey Rose, and it's going to roll in just wide of the cage. Minnesota will try again.
Minnesota last year struggled in games where they gave up the first goal. In 12 sequences where that happened, they only came away with 3 wins, one of them only in regulation. So this is not a position as good as Minnesota was last year that they played in comfortably. We'll see if they can maybe turn the tide here this season.
Ottawa skates in offside. So Minnesota looking for its first home win of the year. This is just their second home game, but they lost that overtime heartbreaker here 4-3 to New York back on December 1st. That was the night that their Walter Cup championship banner was raised. And they got out to a great start in that hockey game. Had a 2-0 lead early, and it looked like they were going to roll, but it didn't happen. They lose in overtime 4-3 to the Sirens.
And what's funny is Coach Ken Klee said that was maybe their best game so far. Yeah. The game he felt they played their game the best, the style of hockey he wants his team to play, even though that one didn't go their way when it was all said and done. I agree with Coach Ken Klee. I thought that was one of their better games as far as the energy and the pace they played with. Of course, you want to see that with a different result. We'll see if they can do that here tonight.
Minnesota through center. Here comes Petrie. Looking for the wraparound. In front, jamming at it, there was Brooke Bryant. And Phillips was able to keep an eye on it and keep it out. Now Bell ahead at center. Mrazova trying to center in front. Good back check there by Claire Thompson, the rookie. Well, pretty good scoring chance for Minnesota. And again, Petrie setting it up. Now here's Shishova trying to turn it for the front for Minnesota. Shishova again. Loose puck here along the near wall. Scrum for it in the corner. Panic. Hit hard from behind there by Markowski. Bookbinder plays it across, gets it back, tried to send it toward the net. It was poked away. Now here's Bookbinder again. Panic. Across. Shishova. Wrist shot. Sent wide of the post. Now Panic again. On the backhand. Tipped and she scores. Well, that was a little bit of puck luck for Kelly Panic, but she's going to take it. And that is her first goal since April 27th of last season, and we are tied at 1.
And you know what? That's why sometimes the best is expected. And Panic comes around the net with this puck on the backhand, of all things, and is able to tuck this one home short side, just kind of floats it up and over the shoulder of Phillips. Phillips looking like a shortstop trying to snag that one out of midair and just can't get her hand on it. And Panic able to put this one home. That's why you throw pucks at the net. I mean, it is a cliche for a reason. And Kelly Panic, who's been there, done that, gets it done again here for Minnesota. And that's got to feel good on a personal level.
No doubt.
To kind of break that trend of not finding the back of the net.
Product of Benilde St. Margaret's, a star in high school, a star at the University of Minnesota here in the Twin Cities, known as a playmaker her entire career. Can she do it again? That was Zumwinkle that time, pardon me. But, you know, to be on that kind of a schneid, she was just aching to get out of it, and she finally does here tonight. And it ties it up. This one bounces past Rooney into the Minnesota zone. 8.5 to go, opening period, tied at 1. Heisey, backhand to the front, save, Phillips, and the rebound. Minnesota thinks it's in. They're going to celebrate, and that's going to be waved off.
Phillips got knocked into here. Of course, we'll take another look at it and see if they decide to take a look at this down on the ice, but it was kind of a chaotic play. Taylor Heisey, who's got some of the best hands in the league, making a nifty little play down low to send that puck towards the net. You know, it's tough to say, Clay. Two players knocked into Phillips at the same time. Who initiated that contact? They kind of go in together. It was Zumwinkle and Scamora who were in there. And the officials are conferring at center ice. What do you say, Clay? That's a tough one.
Boy, it is tough.
They waved it off on the ice, so I'd be inclined to go with what they initially called it because of how close it is. But, I mean, goalie interference, you see, can be kind of a gray area at times of, you know, how they end up calling it. Let's see what side of the coin this one lands on, Clay.
After reviewing the play, the call on the ice stands, we have no goal.
No goal. Okay. So it stays 1-1 with 8:22 to go here in the first period. Zumwinkle denied her second goal of the season. Led the team in scoring last year. We're going to step aside after that long review. 8:22 to go. Minnesota out shooting Ottawa 10-3 in a tie game. Yeah, this game stays tied at 1.
Yeah, Minnesota trying to take that 2-1 lead, but called off for goaltender interference. And for those watching at home, the official decision on a reviewed goal is made by the officiating crew on the ice. The central situation room is basically like an aid to the officials saying, here's what we saw, here's what we think, but they don't make the final call. So it's the officials out on the ice who decide what that call will be. The officials deemed no goal, which was what the call on the ice was as well. And we stay tied at 1.
Mike's another goal for Ottawa. That came at 7:51. Panic, her first of the year for Minnesota. That came at 10:50. Chipped out to center by the Frost. New York beat Toronto in the Sirens home opener last night 4-2. So Sirens now in first place by a point over Minnesota. If the Frost can get 3 points tonight, or even just 2 points, we'll be in first.
Yeah, win in any fashion would put them back in that first spot. And man, what a tough start to the season Toronto's had, Clay. Sitting at the bottom of the standings. A team who had Minnesota on the ropes in the first round of the playoffs last year, ended up losing that series in 5 games, and off to a bit of a slow start. But of course, it's a long season, a lot still to be determined about the identities of each of these teams. And New York, who struggled for a lot of last year, leading the charge here this year to start.
Well, they've been injected with some terrific new talent. Of course, Sarah Fillier out to a great start in her rookie campaign, the #1 overall draft choice for the Sirens. Here's Ottawa setting up in the attack zone. That shot misses wide. Comes over to the near wall. Minnesota trying to dig for it. Pops onto the stick of Ashton Bell. A lot of room for Bell. A drive. Rooney to save the rebound. Cleared by Thompson in behind the cage.
Rooney way out at the top of her crease just completely took away that angle.
Now here's Bell again. Little pass. Mrazova. Her shot was deflected. And back comes Brooke McQuigg, the 24-year-old rookie power forward for Minnesota. She'll just dump it in. Line change for the Frost. Under 7 minutes to go, opening period. Back here at center, Lee Steckline plays it across for Batherson. Her brother Drake is a forward for the Ottawa Senators. So, Ottawa fans very familiar with that name. There's a drive off the post. Batherson almost had the goal for Minnesota.
Fans behind the net thought that one maybe went in. We had a great angle of it from where we're sitting up in the press box. Minnesota now twice coming very close to taking the lead in this game.
And Gwen Phillips had what looked like maybe a Minnesota goal that gave them the lead called off. And then that one hit the pipe. Coming up on the 14-minute mark. Kicked at here by Gabby Hughes. Rose had it. And now here come the Charge with a 3-on-2, but it doesn't materialize. Just out of the reach of Teresa Vanasova, who has 2 goals on the year, a team high. Channel Watkins gets it ahead for Curl. Curl, a centering pass there through the middle, was picked off. And back to the Minnesota zone. Here's Curl again trying to move ahead. Can't move it. And now we've got an offside on Ottawa with 5:35 to go. Well, this one drew iron here in St. Paul. Maid Batherson, the Nova Scotia native, looking for her first PWHL goal. She's Alexis Pearson on Clay Mathick. Audra Martin ringside. 5.5 to go, opening period. A goal apiece here on this Thursday night just ahead of Christmas. Outside of her net there, the rookie. Wow, that's Gwen Phillips, almost making a rookie mistake.
Yeah, that's where communication comes into play, and you'll learn that quickly. You only make that mistake once before you figure out how to do it right the second time around, and thankfully for her in the Charge, it doesn't result in a goal against.
There's a blast from the blue line. That missed for Teralova. Very steady defenseman for the Ottawa Charge and the Czech national team in recent years. This is going to drip back into the Minnesota end. Thompson on her backhand tries to clear. It's intercepted. Swinging up top. Leslie trying to tip it on there. McMahon's side of the net. Ottawa's shots haven't been nearly as many as Minnesota's here tonight, but they've had some close-in looks. Minnesota's activity, though, Alexis, has been right out in front of the goaltender. There's another drive and another test for Phillips, and she's able to make a blocker save.
Yeah, the Frost have been able to find the good areas of the ice.
Bookbinder a drive. Save backhand for Kava. Goes right in front of the net.
They've also gotten a lot of looks like that.
Kava dragged down. Fans wanted a penalty. They're not going to get it. Bookbinder a shot. Hit a body. Loose in front. Minnesota can't get a stick on it. Now here's Thompson again. Settles it down. Good pass to Kava. And had it taken away there by Rebecca Leslie.
And I'm sure that's part of the game plan for Minnesota is let's swarm the net. Let's make it really tough.
Now Leslie trying to jam it past. But Rooney makes the stop.
And here's another look at Minnesota's last opportunity. And you can just see out front Kendall Coyne-Schofield where she works best in tight, trying to get a stick on that one. But then Minnesota just goes right back to work. Where that first shot doesn't go, the second shot doesn't go, somebody else is getting on that puck, looking to either cycle it again or send it back towards the net. And it's been kind of a relentless style of offense for the Frost in this first period.
Yeah, Kava has been really good, too. 2 goals at Toronto. Tied for the league lead with 3 goals with Petrie, her teammate. And then, of course, Alex Carpenter at New York. First in the league in plus minus at +5. So Michaela Cava, the Thunder Bay, Ontario product, really having a good start to her year. Jinsey Rose, backhand centering pass. Settling it down is Mrazova. That's chopped at. Loose. Budarak gobbles it up for Minnesota and slides it out to center ice. Shisheva comes in. She's nudged off the puck. Got it back. Trying to center for the Frost as we go under 3 minutes to play here in the opening period. Tied at 1. Puck frozen up against the wall. Officials letting him play. This is Sheppers who comes in to dig it out and turns it over to Rose. Here come the Ottawa Charge. They got the first goal here tonight. Well, they've been outshot decisively here in the first period. Tie game.
A lot of times that first period on the road's all about weathering the storm, and the Charge able to score that first goal, but now have kind of faced an onslaught from the Frost as Minnesota looks to try to take that lead.
Here's Sevalainen. Centers. That was bouncing puck for D'Arcangelo, so that she really couldn't settle down as she was motoring in toward the net mount.
Yeah, she was trying to get that flyby tip and just couldn't quite get a good look at it. Rooney had her eye on it as well.
Sevalainen will send it in behind the net. Channel got it. Here comes Minnesota back the other way. Britta Curl, rookie coming off a 2-goal game at Toronto, gets it in deep. Loose on the side of the net. Someone will try to go back for it. The Charge take it away. A minute and a half to go in the period. Scamorra got it to the Minnesota line. That's tied up again in front of that Frost bench. Ashton Bell to the logo at center. Now Clark chases it down in the corner. Takes a heavy check. Mrazova with a minute to go in the period. To the point. Markowski's drive goes well wide. See if we can get something to happen here in the final seconds of period number 1. Brianne Jenner trying to turn it toward the middle. Intercepted there by Thompson. And a first-year player will send it to the near wing side. It'll drift back into the Charge end. 35 seconds to go in the first 20 minutes.
And great patience by Thompson there. Instead of forcing that puck out of the zone where there was Charge players waiting, she finds an open space on the ice to get it out.
Here comes Zumwinkle. Trying to fight through a double team. She was taken down to the ice. No whistle. It's been a penalty-free first period. Officials just letting them play here on this Thursday night. Centered out in front. Trying to swing it back in toward the net. D'Arcangelo. And she goes down. And again, whistle stays silent. 4 seconds to go in the period. And that's going to do it. What a good first period. A goal apiece on this Thursday night. During your holiday season. Good hockey game. First intermission coming up. So here we go with the puck drop for the second period. As we're closing in on the final month, or the final days of the first month of season 2. And remember, the schedule expands from 24 games a season ago to 30 games this year. So there's a long march to May. Just getting started with year number 2.
And we're still ending at the same time, playoffs at the same time. The change happened here at the beginning of the season, starting a month earlier. Last year, of course, we started right at the start of the new year. This year, we get the start in those final days of November and beginning of December.
Good stretch pass here to Scamorra. The 30-year-old Buffalo native backhand, and trying to tip it on. There was Emily Clark right out in front.
You can see she had a mind to get that puck to the net, the way she was moving her body in a hurry, and got a quick shot off there, trying to get that lead back the Ottawa Charge are. But we stayed tied up here in the first minute of the second.
Scamorra, a 5th-round pick last year. Looking for her first points of the season. That drive from Teralova from a shallow angle, easily handled by Rooney.
And here's a look at Dom Petrie, and Jinsey Rose going hard into the boards there. Again, we talked about what Coach Ken Klee was hoping to get out of Petrie, which was a physical style of play, something he felt his team lacked at times last season, and you can see her providing that in the way that she scores and the way that she moves on the ice with a big hit there on Rose.
We talked about how long we are away from the end of the regular season, but right now, I mean, through the balance of the first month, she's in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. Goal in all 3 games so far for Petrie. But Minnesota's going to go on the power play for the first time. A Royale power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Paper towel, power through the fight.
And Minnesota, only 1 power play goal so far this season. That puts them at 5th in the league on power play percentage. And the penalty kill for Ottawa doing all right to start the season. They're 3rd with 78.6%.
Heisey, nice pass ahead for Curl, and she couldn't get out on net. Now here's Curl again. Save made by Phillips from a tough angle. Thompson off for Heisey from the circle. Plays it down low. Curl, another point-blank shot. Taylor Heisey again on this Minnesota advantage. First power play of the game. Sumwinkle circles. Off for Petrie, who has the lone power play goal this year for the Frost. Here's Heisey, kept it low, save made by Phillips. Karam's off to the near wing corner. Thompson long drive. That went far of the left post.
I like the mindset here by Minnesota at the start of this power play, just firing everything on net. And again, part of that's just with the new goaltender in between the pipes. You want to try to rattle them, and now with the extra skater out there, maybe a chance to take the first lead of the night here for the Frost.
Natalie Snodgrass, the Eagan, Minnesota native, product of Eastview High School, on this penalty kill for the Charge. She's able to lug it in deep. Now Minnesota gets it back. A little over 20 seconds ago. This power play, they score. How about it? It's panic again. The panic attack on the power play makes it 2-1 Frost.
Well, Kelly Panic made this look like a somewhat harmless play. She's not doing anything too nifty with the stick, just skating down the zone here, and all of a sudden she fires a shot off that goes up and over the glove of Phillips. So a bit of a deceiving play. She scored in 2 different ways tonight, an awkward kind of backhanded goal on the wraparound, and now on this one just snipes this one home on the power play, and Minnesota gets their 2nd power play goal of the season, and officially now their first lead of the night after their last attempt at taking the lead was called off. So Minnesota, a desperately needed power play goal here to take the lead.
She hadn't scored since late April at the end of the regular season last year. And now she has 2 tonight. Power play goal. Kelly Panic.
2 goals and 2 assists on the season in 4 games now.
Kava carries into the Ottawa zone. She'll just swing it down into the corner. Jumping on it there is Himralova. She is pushed up against the wall there by Sevalainen, and her penalty led to the power play goal for the Frost. Trying to hold the zone was Channel. She dives out to stop it with her stick, but can't do it.
Now we'll see how Ottawa responds to being down on the road here.
Ashton Bell gets it ahead here for Markowski. Markowski tips it for Meixna. Meixna had the goal in the first period for the Charge. This is going to roll in easily, handled by Rooney.
And of course, Zumwinkle can boast that same sentiment, but I don't hate that pass there, just Heisey not able to connect.
Teralova blast. Blocked in front. A few bodies out in front of Rooney. You know, Heisey right now is kind of in that situation that Panic was in. Looking to get off the goal-scoring Schneid. 3 assists the last couple of games, but looking for her first goal of the year. You feel like with Panic and probably Heisey too, you know, as soon as it happens, it'll snowball. Clark sends it in.
And Heisey had 4 goals last year, but of course spent some of that time injured, so she did miss a handful of games, only played 19 last year.
Harmon at center. Moves to the blue line. Off to the far wing for Snodgrass, who pushes it in deep. Collision in behind the cage. This is Snodgrass now trying to play keep away from Panic. Ottawa trying to set up a scoring opportunity here, down a goal. Jinsey Rose failed on a pass or shot attempt. Tied up along the wall. Minnesota trying to clear it out. This is Bookbinder jumping on the loose puck.
Great pressure by Kava at the point there to disrupt that play and at least make it difficult for the Charge to keep this in the zone. But Ottawa able to maintain the pressure for now as it's tied up along the half wall here.
Again, a victory for Minnesota. They'll be in first place in the league. Right now trailing New York by a point. Snodgrass has some room. Bookbinder trying to frustrate her from behind. Now Snodgrass pulls up, marching in, her shot deflected, and Minnesota will grab it and move it out.
Good shift there by the Charge, just trying to set up some zone pressure.
Schofield gets to it, slides it off to the far corner. This is Liz Sheppers, the Mound, Minnesota native. Frost hold it in deep. Snodgrass gets it out, back to center. Chipped ahead. Room for Sheppers. Backhand in the middle, chipped away. Good back check there that time by Ottawa. They've clogged that zone quite a bit here tonight.
Yeah, and Liz Sheppers had no choice but to try to sauce that pass across because of the pressure by the Ottawa Charge.
Well, here's the second Panic goal of the night. This one came on the power play, Alexis.
Yeah, Kelly Panic, 2 goals. Both of them for the Minnesota Frost here, 2-1 lead.
All right, Minnesota up 2-1 here in downtown St. Paul, joined now by Frost head coach Ken Cleed. Kelly Panic has been waiting to find Twine. She has both of her tallies on the night so far. What does it do for this team when she gets going like this?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're certainly happy for her. She can shoot the puck. She's got all the skills. It's just about having the confidence to shoot. And I think, obviously, tonight she's feeling it, so we want her to keep shooting pucks.
And what are you looking for as this game continues? And what do you like about the effort to keep this a 2-1 game and looking to add to it?
Yeah, we just need to play our game. We need to make sure we manage the puck well, put pucks in deep when we need to, make plays when they're available.
Keep it going. Appreciate your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Audra, thank you very much. Clark just wound up a second ago and, again, didn't get it to the net as Minnesota's done a nice job clogging up the shooting lanes as they block another one. Here's Bookbinder. She'll shovel it to the blue line. Minnesota's able to escape. Here comes Heisey. Has some room, pulls up, waits for reinforcements. Last year's playoff MVP, Taylor Heisey, swings it across for Thompson. Thompson, bouncing shot toward the net, broken up. Now scooped up here by Grace Zumwinkle. Zumwinkle had a goal called off back in the first period. Now a long drive goes over the top of the net for the rookie Thompson. Here's Zumwinkle again. She'll swing it over to Panic. Can Panic get the hat trick? Sure has a lot of time to do it in this hockey game. Here she comes. Panic attacking again.
Sometimes once you start feeling it, the floodgates just open. And for Kelly Panic, 2 goals here tonight. And you mentioned it earlier, Clay, she's generally more of the playmaker, but really feeling that scoring vibe here tonight as she pulls off the wall here. Nice little nifty move there down low to get that puck in on net. And we've seen a hat trick in this building before. Grace Zumwinkle on opening night last season against Montreal scored the Hattie. Kelly Panic trying to join that party.
Boy, off the draw. Coyne Schofield a little off balance, gets another shot on. That was kicked out of there by Phillips. Yeah, I tell you, confidence is a powerful thing, and Kelly Panic has that in spades here tonight. Loose puck. Rooney sees it, smothers it, melts it down. And we're going to get a face-off in the Minnesota zone.
Well, that first Kelly Panic goal, like we said, it wasn't the prettiest, it wasn't the cleanest, just a wraparound backhander floater over the shoulder. And how often do we see in sports kind of that ugly play be the one that kickstarts a good streak for a player? And Kelly Panic follows it up with a second goal here tonight and seems to really be feeling her game here against this Ottawa Charge team.
Draw controlled by Ottawa. Another shot that doesn't get through. Teralova gets the loose puck, sends it wide of the net. This is Meixna now, has the lone Ottawa goal. She'll cycle it back in deep. Comes over to the near wing side, held in by Teralova. Ottawa down a goal, 7 minutes plus to go in this second period. Serdachny lost at the blue line. It's going to come down on Phillips. All the way back into the Minnesota end. Sophie Jakes lost it, nearly turned it over to McMahon near the goal mouth. Ottawa can't do anything with it. Now Harmon back at her blue line. Plays it across for Rose, and this is going to be an icing on Ottawa. Serdachny's going to take this draw for Ottawa. We talked to Carla McLeod before the game about the Charge power play. She said, you know, when it's a static operation, it hurts my heart. I want to see a lot of puck movement. Don't make my heart hurt tonight. We had to laugh, but she is a lot of fun to talk to.
Well, and she said, say that on the broadcast. Tell them it hurts my heart when they don't move the puck and don't move their bodies.
Here's Serdachny moving her body to the far wing side. Carries it behind, trying to set up Mrazova. Mrazova shifted off the puck. It's pushed in up against the boards. Under a minute to go in this advantage. First of the game for Ottawa. Trying to tie it up. Rose on that right wing. Jenner moving in. Trying to work around Sophie Jakes, and how about Jakes? Great stick work to get that puck away, and they'll clear it down.
Great patience by Sophie Jakes. She didn't try to force that play, didn't try to jump too early, just waited for the opportunity to present itself for her to get a stick on that puck and help her team clear that one all the way down the ice. Well done by Sophie Jakes.
Banner Silva tried to center. That's frustrated by Minnesota's bookbinder. Here's Thompson now jumping on it, and she'll run it down the length of the ice.
That's pretty much going to do it here. The final seconds coming off the clock. Well done by Minnesota.
Minnesota back to full strength. Budarak out of the box. She was serving that bench minor. Just one shot on goal for Ottawa officially, and that probably hurts Carla's heart. Now Minnesota coming on 2-on-2, a drive and a kick saved by Phillips.
Nice drag there for the shot, and another whistle, another penalty after a penalty-less first period. We've seen a couple of them here. Hooking will be the call.
Banner Silva pleading her case, but she's not going to get her way. She's going to have to sit.
In all my years of watching hockey, Clay, I've never seen a case won by the recipient of the penalty when pleading to the official. No. But it's always worth a shot.
Yeah, you're usually falling on deaf ears. All right, so Minnesota going back on the advantage. 1-for-1 on the power play tonight. The goal by Kelly Panic, which is the difference in this hockey game. Minnesota trying to set up here. Here's Heisey now. Moving past the dot, trying to center it in front. Broken up nicely there by McMahon. Heisey gets it back. She'll play it back to Thompson. Thompson, far wing side. One-timer, they score! Grace Zumwinkle, power play goal, second special teams goal tonight for the Frost, and it's 3-1.
Grace Zumwinkle had 2 power play goals last season, which was tied for first on the team, and picks up her first power play goal of the season, her first goal period of the season with this blast from the point. Nice speed across the point there, and Zumwinkle blasts that one home, and Minnesota's opened up the scoring a bit here in the second period, making it a 3-1 game with just under 3 minutes to go. And Zumwinkle's probably thinking, good riddance. I feel like I've earned that one after crashing the net on that called off goal, and is rewarded here with a goal on the power play. So Minnesota came into this game with just one power play goal on 7 attempts. They add 2 more here in this one. That'll up that power play percentage a bit.
And what do you want to bet if we talk to Ken Klee after the game about it? He's still going to nitpick something.
Well, to be fair, most coaches are never fully satisfied with how things are going. There's always room for improvement, but hard to argue how things are going for the power play when you got 2 power play goals on 2 penalties.
Zumwinkle for Thompson and Heisey at 17-14. And, you know, usually you bring it up with about a minute or so to go in the period, but late period goals, you know, especially when you've already got a lead, they're really devastating to the team that's going to have to dig out in the third period.
Absolutely, and especially as this second period inches along, we're not too far from that second intermission, so the Charge already running out of time in this period to try to make an impact on this lead for the Minnesota Frost.
Yeah, definitely Ottawa looking and needing the next goal. This is going to drift back through center. Savalainen goes back to give it. Played for Finland at that Six Nations tournament. Bookbinder lost it at the blue line. Now come the Charge back the other way. Bookbinder chops at it again. Some room here. Shot. It was Shishova. Blocker saved by Phillips. As Grace Zumwinkle's goal gets announced, her first of the year. Looking for more. Minnesota shot blocked. Minute 15 to go in the period. This is Bookbinder just inside the blue line. She'll roll it around. Rings the boards to the far wing corner. Savannah Harmon trying to clear it for Ottawa as they're bottled up here. Serdachny finally gets some room as she tries to clear it. Does to the near wing side, but not out of the zone. Minnesota keeps it alive. Great pressure here, and there's been quite a bit of it tonight. A lot of time in the attack zone for the Frost. Out shooting Ottawa 27-11. Loose puck, Thompson. This is Heisey doing a nice spinorama to try and keep it away from Clark. Little touch pass there from Zumwinkle. Zumwinkle's got it again. Looking for someone to pass to from the dot. Gets it off for the rookie Thompson.
Minnesota wants the dagger here.
Yes, they do. Boy, the Frost just playing keep away. Heisey having all kinds of fun, sent it on, and Britta Curl was right in the way. Now this is Lee Steckline. Steckline lets off a blast. Her rocket is knocked away by Phillips. And that's going to do it here for period number 2. It's a good one for Minnesota. Only goal in the game for Ottawa comes from Meixna, and since then it's been 3 in a row from the Frost, 2 on the power play. They lead at 3-1 going to the third here in St. Paul.
As much as it's not fun always to be on the road for so long, you'd probably prefer it to be earlier in the season like this, and especially if you can come away with a few wins on top of it. And I've been impressed with the way the Charge have battled here today. They had the 1-0 lead. Minnesota's scored 3 unanswered, but the Charge have played a fast, physical game here at the XL Energy Center.
Start the period with the penalty boxes empty. Haven't been a lot of penalties tonight, but the ones that have happened have been consequential. A couple of power play goals for the Frost. Out at center here in front of the benches. Loose puck. Ottawa gathers it up. They'll slide it in and make a line change.
And that's why we always talk about special teams being so important, especially in close games. That's the difference right now. Those 2 power play goals are what separate this Minnesota Frost and Ottawa Charge team. And Kelly Panic, Grace Zumwinkle scoring those power play markers.
Coyne Schofield, here she comes through neutral. Hits the line with speed. Feeds it across. Shot just missed the net. Now Coyne Schofield, great goal scorer, but trying to set up her teammate, Michaela Cava, who was looking for her 4th of the year.
And Coyne Schofield, just when you think she's reached her max speed, she's always got an extra gear to shift into, getting a good look there for the Minnesota Frost.
So after the offside face-off coming up at neutral, let's look at that schedule we were talking about. So you can see that they don't get home until January the 11th against the Boston Fleet. Then they'll be on a bit of a homestand, but long road trip for Ottawa as Rooney has been challenged, intermittently here tonight. Makes that stop.
Another look at that last save by Maddie Rooney. Good battle down low. Vanisova trying to tuck that one in short side, and Rooney's got that angle all tied up, able to make the save here to keep this a 3-1 game.
Vanisova has been their best goal scorer this year, just 2 on the year, but that leads the team. Here's Heisey, rolls off her stick. Swatted at there by Darkangelo. Cheyenne Darkangelo, 10-year pro hockey vet. Team best +4 coming into the night. She's number 27 in white. Stapled up against the wall is Heisey. She wanted a penalty. Not going to get one. We haven't seen a lot of penalties called here, really. Again, the ones we have, though, have been big. And there's another shot right on for Zumwinkle. Saved by Phillips. Oh, that hopped the stick of Sophie Jakes, and she's going to have to retreat back to neutral ice to get it.
Big save by Phillips. Even bigger rebound, and just kind of a awkward sequence off the rebound for Minnesota. I believe that was Channel Watkins in the slot there. Had her back to the net, had really nowhere to send that puck. That was a nice clean pass, and Ottawa Charge catch a break there as that puck ends up out of the zone.
Yeah, if it's 4-1, this might be lights out for Ottawa, but they dodge a bullet. Let's go back to that chance moments ago.
Nice little dangle towards the net there. Zumwinkle picks up that puck, and Phillips able to shake that one off. Nifty move by Britta Curl just to get that puck to the inside there, and then Zumwinkle tries to finish the playoff looking for her 2nd of the night. Kelly Panik's got 2. Zumwinkle trying to match that stat with 2 of her own, but Phillips able to shut the door, and they're going to need Gwyneth Phillips to be perfect the rest of the way out. Minnesota has had 30 shots on net now with still 17 minutes to go. The 3-1 lead. Phillips is going to have to slam the door.
Big drive. It's the post. There for Sophie Jakes. Wide on the right side. Now the offense has been good again tonight here for Minnesota. Came into the night with 11 goals in 3 games for a 3.7 goals per game average. Best in the league. They've already got 3 tonight.
And Minnesota's had over 30 shots on net in 2 of their first 3 games. The only anomaly there was a 28-shot campaign against Boston. So they've been right around or above that 30 shot on goal mark, and they're there again tonight.
Bryant lost it to Jinsey Rose. Emily Clark tried to move it out, and now they finally do. Ottawa gets it to center thanks to Gabby Hughes, the Lino Lakes Minnesota product. Minnesota on the back check. That was Coyne Schofield taken away momentarily, but can't get it out of the zone. And now Minnesota will bring it out with Shisheva trying to get it across. Bryant pokes at it. Teralova tries to move it out for Ottawa. Teralova, 29 years old, the captain of that Czech national team. For Carla McLeod. Here's Michaela Cava again. She'll push it in. Minnesota gets fresh skates out on the ice. 15.5 to go. Minnesota with a 2-goal lead. Here comes Manon McMahon. Can't get around the check of Batherson. Loose puck side of the net. Flipped out in front by Ottawa, but nobody was there for the charge on the backside. Now some real estate here for Minnesota. Cava coming in. Oh, her backhand rolled past her stick. And she was pressured from behind nicely there by Ashton Bell. Always a great skating defender.
And Cava a little slow to get up, leaves her stick in the corner, and will head straight to the bench. Great job by Bell to break up that play. Cava, one of the leading goal scorers on this team for Minnesota.
Coyne Schofield finds Zumwinkle. Her shot whistles wide of the post. Heisey Little pirouette at the blue line. Now comes through neutral. Hits the line with some speed. Looking for help. Hands it off. Minnesota tries to center, broken up. Ottawa comes back the other way. Serdachny. Good stretch pass. Moving in. Vanasova scores on the backhand. Ottawa, you were waiting for it. And there it is. They take advantage of an opportunity, a little leak in the defense. Ottawa finds it. Now all of a sudden it's a one-goal hockey game.
Well, the Frost got caught just a little bit flat-footed there at their own blue line. And Vanasova able to sneak behind the defenders. Here's another look at it. And that's Thompson chasing down that play. And Vanasova able to get past her and tuck this one home. Rooney trying to sell out for the poke check there just to get it off Vanasova's stick, and that drew her a little bit out of position, and Vanasova makes it a 3-2 game. That gives the Charge life with still a whole lot of time left to be played in this one. That's her third goal of the season. And she only had 2 goals last year, spent time with the Montreal Victoire and then, of course, the Ottawa Charge, so she's already surpassed that total.
Here's Vanasova, again a drive blocked in front, hit her own teammate. I got a piece of Cheyenne Darkangelo on the way to the net. So now, Vanasova in a tie for the league lead with 3 goals. With a cluster of players. Snodgrass coming in, trying to tie it, and just missed. I think Maddie Rooney got a chunk of that to keep it out of the net.
I think she got her toe on it. Ottawa Charge, a little bit of life here.
Stick line, wrister. Blasts it off the plexiglass. Yeah, Ottawa's got new life for sure. Mrazova gets it ahead for Jenner, and Jenner and Ottawa can't come in onside. But there is a new feel to this hockey game here as we approach the midway point of the third period. And Ottawa nearly tied it up at 3.
Ottawa on the board here in the third, cutting the deficit to 1 in downtown St. Paul. Now, being defending champs may come with some pressure, but it also comes with some perks. Yesterday, the Frost were VIPs at the Governor's Mansion in St. Paul. Governor Tim Walz officially declared December 18th as Minnesota Frost Day, congratulating them on their title and thanking the team for its incredibly impactful, positive vibes, energy, everything, the impact that it has had here on women's sports across the state of Minnesota. Now, team in turn presented the governor with his own jersey. However, it took less than a minute for First Lady Gwen Walz to snatch it up and claim ownership. And guys, I'm also told that Governor Walz wanted this meeting to happen a few months ago, but I think we can all agree that he gets a pass. He's been a little bit busy, but
yeah,
what a
he
cool
is.
experience for the team nonetheless.
A little tied up. So Frost Day officially yesterday, but today it felt more like Frost Day with the snow we got in the Twin Cities.
Word on the street is it's snowing again now, too, so there'll be some fresh snow on the road when we leave the rink here tonight.
Well, you could hear that loud, heavy shot from Lee Steckline. This is Jinsey Rose coming out of the Ottawa zone. She had the second assist on that goal by Vanasova. The primary assist coming from the rookie Serdachny. And Ottawa's looking much more offensive here in the third period. McMahon comes in onside. Tried to send that on through a screen. Deflected well wide. And this is going to bounce all the way back to the Ottawa end. And it'll be icing on Minnesota with 12:24 to go. Get the feeling now that Minnesota's a little bit on its heels and playing not to lose as opposed to the offensive threat that they've been for the lion's share of this hockey game.
Well, the Ottawa Charge trying to change the trend from last year where when trailing after 2 periods of play, they struggled to win. In 10 instances, when trailing after 2 periods, Ottawa only able to come away with 2 wins, but trying to make a push here in the third to get off on the right foot in this season with some better stats when trailing after 2. Of course, not an easy thing to do, and especially when you're on the road. But Minnesota a little bit on their heels right now after giving up that second goal.
Doesn't stay in the offensive zone long. Frost come back to their own end. That puck is behind Shishova, and it's a Minnesota turnover. Leslie plays it rink wide. And it's going to be dumped in behind Maddie Rooney. 11:40 to play. And a win for the Frost, and they'll be in first place ahead of New York. Trailing the Sirens by a point coming into the night. There's some room for Sophie Jakes, the defender, carrying it in deep. She's checked off the puck and turned over to Markowski. Stephanie Markowski off in the far wing, and it's cleared out of the zone, but that going to be a penalty? Yeah, we're going to have another penalty here. And this one's going to go against Minnesota, so a great opportunity now for the Charge to tie it up.
Britta Curl's going to head to the box here. We'll hear the official call.
7, Team Minnesota. Minor penalty reported.
Britta Curl, the second round pick out of Wisconsin, takes the penalty. Here's the replay, and your thoughts, Alexis?
I think that's the right call. Britta Curl's yapping at the official down there, not liking the call herself, but I think that's probably the right call, and I always err on the side of caution with those kind of penalties just because they are the more dangerous type of penalties, so I don't have a problem with that call. And Minnesota now came into this game as the least penalized team in the league, and a potentially costly penalty taken here by Britta Curl. We'll see if the Frost can kill this one off.
Another Royale Tiger Towel power play, this one for the Ottawa Charge. Here's Vanna Silva, a wrister that goes up out of play. So off the draw, Minnesota controls, skating 4-on-4 for the next 20-plus seconds. There's a drive, steered away by the goaltender Phillips. Ottawa will gather it up and move it out. Vanna Silva coming in, trying to cut the corner, the shot. Save made, and there was Ashton Bell that tried to tip it on. Now a 2-on-1 for Minnesota if they hurry. Oh, that was deflected by Rose nicely. Heising plays it to Thompson as Minnesota now sets up on the power play. They've got the advantage. Thompson for Grace Zumwinkle. Zumwinkle into the circle for Petrie. Here's Heisey holding, shot, save, rebound, and trying to jam it in, Britta Curl.
Gwyneth Phillips looked shocked at when that puck ended up hitting her. Taylor Heisey, so nifty with the way that she moves her stick, is able to get some really tricky shots off. And you take another look at it here. She walks into the top of the slot there and rips a shot off. Curl and Petrie both down there banging away, trying to pick up a rebound, and Phillips just on her back in the desperation starfish position, hoping the puck hits her somewhere, and is able to keep it out as Minnesota looking to extend this lead to 2 once again.
Minute to go in this power play advantage for Minnesota. They're 2 for 2 on the power play tonight. That was tipped through the blue paint. This is Panic. Can she get her third tonight? Down low, Coyne Schofield doesn't get a shot. Oh, trying to slam it on was Petrie, but slamming the door was Phillips.
And then a little pushing and shoving. Petrie takes a shove after the play, and Kendall Coyne Schofield recognized that and gives a shove right back. Dominique Petrie looking for 4 goals in 4 games in her rookie season here with the Minnesota Frost, and just can't quite find the back of the net there, but great feed by Kava, and Kava already recognizing a player like Petrie can make that shot happen if she gets the puck to her, so good pass by Kava.
Zumwinkle, shot got through, Phillips kicks it out. 30 seconds to go in this advantage. Just over 8 minutes to go in the hockey game. Minnesota trying to make this a 2-goal advantage again. And they're going to blow the whistle. Teralova through the middle. Right wing pass for Jenner, the captain. Brianne Jenner, who's had a hat trick against Minnesota in her career.
Yeah, 1/3 of her goals last season were against Minnesota.
Turned over. Here comes Coyne Schofield back the other way. Going right to the net. Missed the net.
Yeah, it just kind of rolled off the toe of her stick. Didn't get a clean shot off. But you can hear the crowd reacting. They know when Kendall Coyne Schofield has a lane to go, she's going to run.
Heisey poked off her stick. Kept alive by Curl. Curl tries to wrap it around, throws it out in front. Heisey stays with it. Just over 5 minutes to go. That shot from Steckline missed wide. Now Jinsey Rose will move it out for Ottawa. McMahon will angle it in. Bounces past Rooney. Trying to hold on for the win here tonight. 3-on-2 for Minnesota. Thompson coming in. She scores. Claire Thompson. Her first goal in the rookie's season. And it's a big one for Minnesota as this opens up a 4-2 advantage.
Let's take another look at it here. Great breakout by the Minnesota Frost. They come through the neutral zone with speed. And the slot shot by Claire Thompson extends this lead back to 2 goals here for the Minnesota Frost. And we're talking about the rookies, and they just keep showing up for us, Clay. They make our job easy when they go out and play this good. And Claire Thompson puts her mark on this game.
And Petrie will try to keep it going here for Minnesota as we're under 5 minutes now. First round pick for the Minnesota Frost, 3rd overall back in June after a great career in the Ivy League at Princeton. And Ken Klee was hoping that she would be an early impact acquisition for Minnesota, and she has been.
Well, and you lose a player like Sophie Jakes here tonight who has that offensive mind as a defender. And Claire Thompson fills those shoes and is able to score to extend this lead.
Banner Silva, one-timer sent wide. Might have been deflected out in front.
Now the Charge need a quick goal here because this time is going to fly the last 4 minutes.
There's Sevalainen, and that's blocked away by Rooney up out of play. 4:02 to go. There is the lady of the moment, Claire Thompson. 4-2 Frost.
Minnesota Frost trying to take over that first spot in the league. They held it up until last night when New York won to retake that first spot. Of course, New York's only quote-unquote blemish on their record is that Minnesota took them to overtime in that one. Other than that, New York's looked pretty perfect this season.
Gabby Hughes taking a check, trying to operate behind Rooney and create something. She does, flips it out in front. Nobody there for Ottawa. They keep it alive in the zone. Harmon gets it down to the end line. Back for Harmon. Plays it across. There's a drive, got through. Rooney kept it out with the pads.
Good shift here by the Ottawa Charge.
Yeah, Ottawa knows they need the next one. So, empty net now for the Charge. Down 2, they're going to bring the extra attacker on. Carla McLeod. I mean, there's still well over 3 minutes to go here, Alexis. Do you like this gamble?
I like it. I only like it when, you know, as a fan, I don't like when my team does it, but as a fan in general, I love the aggressive move. I always think if you've got the chance to give your team a shot here, I'll always respect the aggressive option, and Coach Carla McLeod trying to jumpstart her team here, give them a chance with the extra skater to try to tie this one up. They need 2 to do it, though, but they've got 4 minutes here to work.
Brazilva came in, sent right back out by Thompson. 2:45 to play. That's going to miss the net. And it'll be icing against the Frost.
This time's going to tick fast, and that allows Minnesota a chance to be more aggressive if they'd like to late here.
Jinsey Rose, a blast, trying to tip it past Rooney. That was Scamora. 2.5 to go. Another drive that was deflected, may have hit a skate. Kelly Panic gets to it first. Minnesota missed the net. Panic nearly scored. And that would have been her 3rd of the game, and that would have been a miraculous goal from where she shot it.
Well, the 200-foot empty net goal for the hat trick is a beauty to behold, and Kelly Panic, you see the smile on her face there. Well, sometimes the post is unkind even when there isn't a goalie in between the pipes.
It's kind of like watching a golf shot. You're kind of throwing your body English. Oh, is it going to make it? No.
Not me. My golf shots are never that close, Clay.
Mine either. Up on the dasher, off to the corner. Razova trying to get on it. Leslie trying to move it for Ottawa. She'll keep it in deep. There's panic again for the Frost. Charge running out of time as we're under 2 minutes to go. At center. Pumped back in by the Charge. Uh-oh, here we go. Zumwinkle buries him. That's her second goal tonight. And now it's all over but the shout.
What a great game by Grace Zumwinkle, one of the leaders on this team, able to close this out. It's Claire Thompson from back behind the net who feeds this up into the neutral zone, and you're not going to win many foot races against Grace Zumwinkle, and she's able to blow by there and tuck that one home. So a couple Frost players with multi-goal games. That's back-to-back games now. They've had 2 players score 2 goals each. Again, it was Curl and Kava in the game against Toronto, and tonight Panic and Zumwinkle with 2 goals each. That's Zumwinkle's 3rd of the season. She had the power play goal, one of the power play goals earlier in this one. What a performance here by the Frost tonight. It wasn't an easy start for them, but they played well when it mattered.
And how about the last 2 games combined? 11 total goals for Minnesota. That one goes wide.
And that game against Toronto, that was the first time since the league's inception Toronto allowed 6 goals in a game. So Minnesota able to pile it on against the Toronto Scepters, and now tonight against the Frost. This game was much closer than the score indicates, but they were really able to put it home when they needed to, and Grace Zumwinkle with the cherry on top here tonight.
Clark, good pass right in front for Rose. She tipped it wide.
Rose has had a great game for the Ottawa Charge as well. She's been all over the ice.
Here comes Budarak now trying to maneuver around Harmon. Can't do it. Final seconds here. Another chance for Minnesota perhaps. And that was Shisheva. That poked away at the last moment there by Clark.
Minnesota keeping the foot on the gas here even with this 3-goal lead. They don't want to slouch at any point down the stretch of this one.
From the corner, deflected, 10 seconds to go. Minnesota still dangerous, save, Phillips. Loose puck, Shisheva backhand, and stopped by Gwen Phillips with 2.6 remaining. So Minnesota, they're going to take over first place. They're going to go to New York on the 22nd, just ahead of the Christmas break. And then they will be home with Montreal on the 28th. The Victoire coming in. You and I will be here for that. And then after the new year, they're going to meet Boston, who they played in the finals last year.
Yeah, that New York Sirens rematch from that home opener here for the Minnesota Frost, that'll be a good one. Assuming New York continues their stretch of good play, so it should be a fun one.
Minnesota wins it by a final of 5-2 here in downtown St. Paul. Don't forget, Montreal and Toronto. That's our next game on Saturday afternoon. We hope you can enjoy that one with us. For Alexis Pearson and Andra Martin, I'm Clay Mathick. Good win for the first place Minnesota Frost in the PWHL. 5-2 the final. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody.